Hi everyone, it's Felicia, owner and registered dietitian at Peraza Nutrition, and today we're going to be talking about healthy holiday baking and some swaps and substitutions that you can make to make your baked goods a little bit healthier this year. So the first thing I have for you is avocado, and you can actually use avocado in place of butter in a 1-to-1 ratio. So one thing to think about is maybe even just doing a half a cup of butter and a half a cup of avocado if your recipe calls for a full cup. So maybe even just doing half. And yes, avocado is a fruit, but it also has fat in it. It is the healthy kind of fat, so don't be afraid of it. It has the good fats, the monounsaturated fats. They help to decrease inflammation, so it is a beneficial fat. So even though you are using fat in place of butter, which is also a fat, it's the good kind that you want. The second thing I have for you is using ground flaxseed. So maybe you use ground flaxseed already. You can use ground flaxseed in smoothies, you can use it in oatmeal, you can use it in baked goods, but you can also use it as a replacement for eggs. So maybe you're trying to cut down on cholesterol, or maybe you have someone who is vegetarian or vegan in the family and doesn't eat eggs, or maybe you have someone that has an egg allergy. You can use flaxseed. So in order to do this, you would take 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed and mix that with 3 tablespoons of warm water. Let that sit aside and it'll start to gel together, and that is 1 egg. So it'll be 1 flax egg, and that is equivalent to using 1 egg in baking. The third thing you can do is use applesauce. So you can use a 1/4 cup of applesauce for 1 egg. You can also use it for butter too. When you're using applesauce in a recipe, one thing to keep in mind is that you do want to decrease the liquid content by about 1/4 cup. So if you're using a 1/4 cup of applesauce, you want to decrease your recipe liquid content by 1/4 cup too. Just so then that way your baked good isn't too flattened out and mushy. With using the applesauce, it's really great because it adds in a little bit of moisture, so it actually adds a little bit more of a chewiness to the baked good, but it's a fruit and it also has fiber in it, so it is beneficial. Just make sure you get the unsweetened variety. And the last swap that you could do is using beans, so pureed maybe chickpeas or black beans in place of flour, and you can also use beans in place of butter or oils. So this is also a 1-to-1 ratio, and this is a great way to get in some more fiber, some more protein, or if you have someone in the family that has celiac or gluten intolerance, you can also use the beans in your baked good instead. So just some additional tips for you while you're making your holiday cookies is think about having something to eat before you start baking. You know, I love to enjoy my holiday baked goods and I love to taste while I'm cooking, but you don't want to just fill up on all cookies for the day. So maybe think about having, you know, a healthy snack beforehand, you know, maybe some vegetables, maybe some fruit before you start baking. And then again, you know, it's the holidays, so of course you want to indulge and have some baked goods yourself, but just have that, at least something beneficial in terms of a fruit or a vegetable before you start baking. The other thing you could do is make a small batch of something to taste test. So if I'm making a lot of cookies, usually I do want to taste them just to make sure that they're okay before I'm serving them to other people. So sometimes what I'll do is instead of making a regular size cookie, I'll make smaller versions, so that way I could taste test a lot more without having, you know, a huge amount of sugar all in one day. So just something to think about. So your action goal for this week is to think about how you can make holiday baking healthier this year. And if you have any other substitutions or swaps that you like to use in baking, put them in comments below. If you have any questions about anything, drop them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Give this video a like, give it a share, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And next week, I'm going to be talking about 2019 goal setting. So make sure you check out the channel then.